Hey, care group leaders. Hey, I just wanted to quickly come to you and first of all say thank you. Thank you for the way that you have gotten the word out about different service projects and ways to be able to serve the city for impact. And I know this is the middle of the summer. It's been busy all the way up until this point, and it's continuing to be busy. I mean, think about all that we have already been able to do. We've been able to accomplish summer off at Gladstone Park. We served the city in that way, served those neighborhood children, able to bring the gospel, literally share the gospel with them and their parents. So that was awesome. And then we sent the students off to Hamtramck. As a church, we sent them off to go to Hamtramck and serve there, and you supported that. So thank you for being a part of that and having a part in the gospel there. Thank you for those of you who got the word out about helping to clean up the historical cemetery. I was so excited when the city called us and said, hey, could you help? Could you do this? That's exactly the kind of reputation that we want our church to have with the city. And also, the college age students got together and they invited the police over to wash their cars. They invited a fire truck over. They put on a free car washer, literally free. No donations whatsoever were accepted. It was just a pay it forward type of thing. Just ways that they could serve. That was so cool. We know that two care groups got together to go harvest crops at the Franklin Community Farm in Cumberland, and because all that food is going to the Rhode Island Community Food Bank, which is again awesome. That's so cool that our church can be so involved in so many different ways. So thank you for doing that. We are excited about the path that the church is headed on. We are already planning for the fall. We're planning this series called Big Church. It's going to be a church-wide series with an emphasis of every person needs to be connected into a small group. In our small groups, we're going to have a DVD presentation from Andy Stanley talking about Big Church. On Sunday mornings, the messages will be around this idea of Big Church. It's the idea that Jesus launched the church around a single event, the resurrection. The idea that the church was formed as a movement that moves, and the church should be on the move, exactly like what we have been doing over the past summer. So we're excited about that, and we're going to be studying and looking into the book of Acts to see all that the church had. They had big prayers, they had big faith, and they had a big audience. Jesus told them their audience was everyone, and that's our audience, everyone. So we got to make sure that we're continuing to stay focused on what Jesus has called us to do. And we are a church that's living this out. I mean, stop and think about us being able to send Megan Moran up to Boston to be a part of a crew of trying to reach the college-age students. Think of us as a church. Just this summer, we're going to be able to send off Sarah Hutchins to Vietnam to go with Teach Beyond for the sake of the gospel. Think about our students working with Dan and Kathy Snyder in Hamtramck, Michigan, again for the sake of the gospel. We want to continue to be a church like that, and that's what this series will help us do. And the climax is we are praying that God is going to lead us to a big opportunity to serve or to give to our city for some need. There may be a family that's in need, that's kind of fallen through the cracks, that the resources that they have reached out for, they weren't eligible for, or something like that. We as a church want to come alongside of them and meet whatever kind of need that they might have. So will you start praying with us that God would bring forth the need of how our church could just shower a family with compassion and love and meet a need in a big way. And so that's what this series will lead us to, because this is the kind of church that God has called us to be. Something that you need to know, care group leaders, we need you to make sure that you have on your radar Sunday, August the 28th at 10:15 a.m. We're going to meet, and I'm hoping that before we ever even get there, that you have already had several conversations with people in your current group who you would be able to send out to launch a new group. So will you start praying about that? Start thinking about the people in your group, and that maybe you could send them out in twos or threes and launching a new group so that more people can be connected in really a smaller group and not like a mid-sized group where we have 20 people showing up in one group. Because we need to stay small. We need our groups to stay smaller for the sake of building community. This is going to be a 7 weeks of small groups. We're going to have a connection point. All these dates, all the information is going to be listed there in the email. But I just want to get the word to you. Will you please start praying now and pray passionately? Will you really intercede for this? And let's ask God that He would allow us to be able to make the biggest impact possible in our area. Hey, thanks so much. Thanks for all that you guys do.